head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices like Marvel Champions. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going to be diving into the Marvel Universe with Marvel Champions. It's Fantasy Flight's new living card game LCG. It was their big announcement at Gen Con. It's coming out in a little bit. And so today, now in this game you have the opportunities to play as She-Hulk, as Spider-Man, as Iron Man, as Black Panther, and Captain Marvel. Today I'm going to do a full solo playthrough with Spider-Man because the game is 1 to 4 players and you actually get, I'd say, 90 to 95% of the play experience with a solo game than you do with a multiplayer game. So I'm going to show you this with using Spider-Man and using the basic villain. And so I'm going to just show you how it plays, give you the feel for the decisions that you make throughout it, and then I'll see you on the other side to talk a little bit about what happened. So we're going to play a solo game today as Spider-Man using the starter deck for Spider-Man. Now, I'm not going to go over all of the rules in the game. I've covered most all of the rules in my review that you can click the link in the description below to see. But I'm going to sort of talk through some of the choices and you'll probably be able to just follow the rules as we play. But if you want to see a full rule set, go watch my review. And today I'm going to be facing just the normal level of Rhino, which is levels 1 and 2 in this scheme. And they have 14 hit points per player. One player, so 14 hit points. And again, the object is to get this down to 0. We'll get to the level 2 Rhino, get that down to 0. If we do, we win, but we got to do it before we get 7 threat on the main scheme and before our health might get down to 0. All right, now here's the 6 cards that I have. Now, you can discard them as a mulligan, any ones you want at the beginning of the game, but I'm just going to leave these here. And the first thing I'm going to do on my turn is I'm going to play a card. I like Aunt May. She's going to help me out. When I'm the alter ego, she can basically exhaust to heal 4 damage. I like that, and she's pretty cheap to play, just 1. So I'm going to go ahead and discard a card. I'm going to discard this resource. This doesn't use any specific resources, just 1 of any. So I'm going to discard this card to use this resource to purchase this card. So here's my discard pile, my draw deck, and I've just placed this as a support just to the right of my draw deck like that. Next, I'd like to play this ally, Black Cat. It costs 2. Now, this will give me 1 resource. I don't really need the first aid right now, so I'm going to then discard this as 1 resource. So I discarded this one down here, and I need to pay 1 more. Well, my alter ego has an ability here. It says Scientist, resource, generate that resource, limit once per round. So I'm going to generate that for my second resource to pay for this. That's really cool. So now I've got the Black Cat out there as an ally. Now what this ally is going to allow me to do is going to allow me to kind of thwart schemes against the villain or attack the villain. Also, after you play the Black Cat, discard the top 2 cards of your deck and then add each card with a printed that resource discarded this way into your hand. So we're going to draw 2 cards. That's the mental resource, by the way. Oh man, I'm losing one of my special cards that I'm not able to use now. And none of those had the resource of mental, so none of those basically added to my hand. Now, once per turn, you can flip to the other side. So I'm going to flip this to now become the hero. Now, why am I going to do that? Because left in my hand are 2 cards. Now, you don't have to play all your cards each turn, but this one is strength. It acts as 2 resources, which is enough to pay for this event, which is cool. It's a hero action. It only triggers if I'm a hero. So I just flip to hero, and I can attack and deal 3 damage to an enemy. So this is really cool. I'm going to discard this for the 2 resources, which allows me to discard this event and deal 3 damage to the Rhino. Awesome. So the Rhino started with 14. Now it's going to go down to 11. Not bad for the beginning of our first turn, but we're not done yet. And now what I'm going to do is I've got the Black Cat as my ally. I'm going to go ahead and exhaust this for 1 attack, but I'm also going to exhaust Spider-Man to use his attack. Now, Spider-Man could thwart schemes, attack, or defend, but let's go on the attack here. So we're going to have a total of 3 more attack. So that's pushing the Rhino down from 11 all the way down to 8. Now, I don't have anything that I can or want to do in my turn. So at this point, I discard any cards that I don't want in my hands here, but we've used them all, so they're all discarded anyways. We're going to drop to the hand size. Now, keep in mind, the hand size differs. It's 5 if I'm the hero. It's 6 if I were Peter Parker. But I was this, so I'm going to draw 5 cards of this into my hand, and then I'm going to ready all my characters. Then we're going to move to the villain phase. So the villain, first of all, is going to put threat based upon this onto the main scheme. 1 per player. Since it's just 1 of us, we put 1 threat. Again, if it gets to 7, we will lose. Then the villain is going to activate once per player. There's just one of us, so it's going to activate once. Now, we were Spider-Man, so it is going to attack. If we were Peter Parker, instead of attacking, it would be adding schemes to the main scheme here. So since we were Spider-Man, it's going to attack us. Now, we're going to pull this card and put it in front of Spider-Man, and then we're going to flip it over. It's going to possibly boost how much attack. So it's going to be at least 2 attack, but it could be more. Now we can decide if we want to defend before this happens. If we want to do that, we can exhaust this character, and it will block 3 of that. But then we won't be able to have this to attack or thwart. And we have a lot of health now, so we're not going to defend. So we'll just see what this is. Ooh, we lucked out. Usually there's boosts here. There aren't any, so this is just going to get discarded, and it's just going to attack us for 2. Now we started with 10 hit points based upon our card, and now we're down to 8. Now when Spider-Man got attacked, that has an interrupt. When the villain initiates an attack against you, gain a card, so it would have drawn a card. Now we're going to deal an encounter card to each player. Again, it's just us, so we'll do that and we'll resolve it. So we've dealt that encounter card. Let's see what it is. It is I'm Tough. It's a treachery card. When revealed, give Rhino a tough status card. And if it already has one, then it would get a surge. But it does not have one, so let's give it a status card. This now will get just discarded. And that tough just says the next time this character is going to be attacked by any damage, you discard this instead. So we kind of want to hit him with something light first just to get this off so that we can hit him a little bit harder. Now here's the cards I have for my turn to try to think about what to do. I'd really like to get Nick Fury out. It's a really cool ally that allows me to do some attacks or thwarts, but it also can do like 4 damage to the villain right away, or draw 3 cards, or remove 2 threat. I really like that, but then if Nick Fury is still in play at the end of the round, you have to discard them. So it's sort of like a 1-round use, but he's really powerful. I'd like to get him out there if I can. So let's do this. So first what I'd like to do is exhaust the Black Cat for an attack 1. Because if you remember, we want a light attack to get rid of this tough. So instead of damaging it, it just removed this tough marker from the Rhino villain there. Next, I'd like to actually use Spider-Man to essentially exhaust to attack 2 more, which will move Rhino from 8 down to 6, doing well. Now I'm going to flip, and when they flip, they stay in the same state, so it's exhausted. And I can still use this ability because it doesn't cost an exhaustion to do so, so I can get a resource of this type, and that's allow me to get that 1 resource, 2, 3, and 4, and spend those cards as the 4 resources in order to put Nick Fury into play. And the reason why I did that is because it leaves me with this cool backflip, which doesn't cost anything, and later it will allow me to interrupt and get rid of damage or avoid it. And it still leaves me with this ally that I can try to put in next play because I want to get a bunch of allies out. So I discarded those cards, and now I put them into play. And forced response, after Nick Fury comes in, we can choose one of the following, and I'm going to absolutely choose to do 4 damage to an enemy, for sure. So we're going to take this down from 6 down to 2. Now I want to exhaust Nick Fury to do an attack. Now you'll see these little marks here. This means it does take damage when it does that, some 1 damage here. So it's going to do that. It's going to take 2. It's going to give 2 more attack. And this is going to essentially take him down to 0. Now, this has been a good game so far for me. I happen to have gotten a lot of the good cards out right away and been able to pay for them and do different things. Typically, I don't do this well. So this first Rhino is dead. And so now what happens is, this one, first of all, is going to go back up to 15 points. Right here. Now, I guess it's not really dead. It's just we're on to the 2nd level of them. So now, when revealed, we got to search the encounter deck and find this break-in and take-in side scheme and reveal it, and then we'll shuffle the entire encounter deck. But now, this one has a better attack. So then we put in that break-in and take-in scheme, which is not good because it starts with 2 threat, and then when revealed, we placed an additional 1 threat per player, so 1 more, and then this hazard icon. So during the villain phase, we have to deal 1 more encounter card, which is not going to be good. Now to get rid of this, we need to sort of thwart all that threat off of this side scheme. Now I'm also going to exhaust this. I am Peter Parker, so I am the alter ego. I need to be that in order to do this. We exhaust Aunt May to heal 4 damage. Now we can heal 4, but we started with 10, so the most hit points we can have is 10. So we're just gonna go ahead and put this right up. And we're at our max hit points here, so we'll see how that does. But now we've exhausted her, and let's see what else we might wanna do. Well, we've exhausted pretty much everybody. This one's 0, and that's going to work when I'm getting attacked. And this one costs 3, so I'm pretty much done. I'm going to hold on to these cards for now. And so at the end, we can discard any cards. I'm not going to. I'm going to keep all those. We're going to ready everybody else, all of our exhausted characters back up. Now, it did tell us that we had to discard Nick Fury at the end of the round regardless, so he's gone. And our max hand size is 6, so we're going to draw back up so we have 6 cards. So now, first of all, it's going to place one threat here. So we are up to 2. Again, if 7 gets there, the game is over. And then we're going to look for the boost. Now, because we were Peter Parker, it's not going to attack us. Instead, it's going to advance their scheme. So it's going to be 1 plus whatever this boost is. The boost is 1. So a total of 2 more are going to go there, which is essentially going to be 4. So what I'll do is just go like that. So we have 4. Wow, it's already, I mean, it looked like I was doing really well and about to kind of win the game pretty quickly, but now it looks like I'd lose it very quickly here. Then we're going to deliver not just 1, but 2 of these cards to me because of this darn side scheme. All right, so here comes the first one. Ooh, this is the Enhanced Ivory Horn. It's an attachment that we will attach to Rhino. So it is going to attach here, and it's not good because it's going to give an extra attack. Now he's got 4 attack, but it's not the end of the world because I do have full health, and I have that Aunt May that's going to allow me to recover quite a bit. So for all the things, this actually sounds bad, but it's not the worst. For a hero action, I can spend 3 of those strength resources to discard this card. So, but we've got a second one because of that extra side scheme, so let's go attach this and see what this does. So we'll flip this over, and it is Gang Up Treachery. When revealed the alter ego, this card gains Surge. And since we are the alter ego, this essentially means this would get, we do whatever it says here, which is just gain Surge. So it's going to get discarded, but another encounter card is going to come up. That's what happens when you Surge. But man, good thing it wasn't, you know, when I wasn't a hero, because otherwise it would have attacked me. All right, so let's see what this additional card is. Ooh, it's an armored Rhino suit. So it's going to attach the Rhino, and a Force Interrupt. When any amount of damage will be dealt to the Rhino, place it here instead. Then if there's at least 5 damage here, discard this suit. Oh my gosh, this is getting bad. All right, so I just put it attached here. So wow, it's going to be hard to damage. We got to get 5 before we can even get to this, where he has 15. And over here, he's already more than halfway. And then we got to get rid of it. We got to really thwart a lot of the different threat at this point. But the good news is, at least it's our turn now, but we don't have a lot of things to thwart. We've got the Swinging Web Kick, which is a really powerful damage, which, again, they just got that armored suit on, so we might want to wait to use this. This one is going to, stun. Basically, it's going to stop them from attacking us. That's not like it. We really need the thwart right now. This one doesn't really do us any good because it's like double resources for another Justice card, which is yellow. This one's about when we get hit. So I want to really try to put her in place. We can start thwarting with her at least. So this one we can use for 2 resources, and we can use this one for the 3rd resource to play Mockingbird the ally. So I've got them in play, but let's do this. Let's use this resource from the scientist once per round. We'll use that for 1 resource. Then we'll use this and this for the 2nd and 3rd to put this into play. I know I want to keep this for later. This might be good, but I really got to do with what's now. And this is the tough decision is do you want to hold on and save that card, but then your hand limit, it's clogging up your hand limit for what you need right now. And these are the tough decisions you make. So we'll discard these, and we'll use this event. So we will discard those 2 cards and my resource here to put this in play, and we are going to, we have to be the hero. So we did the resource, we then flip this to go to the hero, and then we will use that action to deal 8 damage. Now if you remember, the armor is going to take the first 5 damage, so this is gone because that's the first 5, and then 3 more, so it's going to go down to 12. Not bad, but keep in mind, man, if this gets 4 more this round, we are done. The game will be over. We will lose. So we got to get this thwarted. Now, one thing I noticed I did forget is when Mockingbird was put in play, we were supposed to stun an enemy. That didn't matter that I forgot at this point because since this has been out, he's been scheming and not attacking. So we'll just go ahead and make sure we put that correction there now. Now looking at this, I've got up to 3 different thwarts that we can do. So, and that's really what I want to focus on here. So we're going to use Mockingbird to thwart, and again, it has that collateral damage. So, so we'll put the damage marker. If it gets to 3, she's done. We're also going to do the same for her, Black Cat. So this is going to be a damage, a collateral damage. Now 1 more and she's gone, but that's going to allow us to thwart, and I'm going to thwart here. So we're going to thwart 3 times here. Now, interestingly enough, since I'm the hero, I'm going to be getting attacked this round, but I'm not because of the stunned, which is cool. So we know that this isn't going to lose us the game this round. So here's some decisions. Do I want to take all 3, because we've got 3 thwarts between Spider-Man, Black Cat, and Mockingbird, to take these off and get rid of this side scheme so I don't get additional things? Or do I work on this? It's tough because in a future round, 4 is possible to come up, depending on the deck, but I think I want to get rid of this. Let's use all 3 to get rid of this pesky breaking and taken, so this thing is gone for sure. Whew, I feel a little bit better. And so I'm not going to take any more actions. I don't have any more cards, so I can't discard or don't want to. So I'm going to, ready all my characters, and then I'm going to draw back up to my hand limit for next round, which is 5. All right, it's the villain's turn, and because we're Spider-Man, he's going to attack. We would check for boost. Ooh, we lucked out, there's nothing, but it wouldn't have mattered because we have this stunned. So instead of attacking, this just gets discarded. But now we do one encounter card here. Now because we got rid of that side scheme, that pesky one, we only have to do one, not two. So let's see what this is. Oh gosh, Hydra Bomber. It's a minion, which means it's going to attach to Spider-Man. Essentially, you just put it right above Spider-Man. Now, in future villain phases, after the villain either attacks or schemes, depending on what we are, each minion will do that to the player in player order. So in future rounds, this is either going to scheme or attack, depending on what we are, in addition to the villain. It's going to be against Spider-Man if it attacks, and against the main scheme if it schemes. Oosh, which means we don't want to be Peter Parker at the end of next round because the scheming is going to kill us. We got to stay Spider-Man and try to stay strong. Now, if we look a little closer at this text, it says, when revealed, choose to either take 2 damage or place 1 threat on the main scheme. I think in this case, I want to just take the damage, so we'll go down to 8. And there we have it. So it's back to our turn again. This is very interesting because it appears we have a lot of health and we have Aunt May to help us. But the problem is, if we flip over, to try to recover health, we're going to be stuck with this because you can only do it once per round, which means they're going to scheme, and that's the biggest difference. So we really need to sort of stay Spider-Man this round and try to really get rid of some of that thwart some of the different threat and or attack. And I've got some health here with her, but it needs to be an alter ego. So in order to get health back, I really do need to go like this, which means, it's tough because then they're going to scheme. So if we're going to do that, we need to thwart a bunch first. But we're not too bad on health yet, so maybe we can withstand a whole nother round just staying as Spider-Man this round. Okay, this round we've got our cards. I see something really cool that we could try to do. This spider tracker, awesome. It only costs 1 and it's an upgrade. We can attach it to a minion like that Hydra Bomber that's attached to us. And forced interrupt. When the attached minion is defeated, we remove 3 threat from a scheme. This is excellent. We can do this and then focus on beating that minion this round. Let's do this. So we're going to put this into play. We need to spend 1. So when thinking about which one to discard, I also want to put this one in play because it does something similar, which means after we defeat a minion, exhaust the interrogation room, which is that, to remove a threat. So we want to get both of these in, so we need 2. And I think between these ones, I'll get rid of this one. It's okay, but it's not great. This one is all about attacking. Ooh, see, this is tough. These are the tough decisions: is which one to discard in order to pay for that. And then since we're really down on threat, let's keep this one. So we'll get rid of this one and this one to pay for those 2, and then we'll just keep that one in our hand. All right, so we've done that. We discarded those cards, and we put the supports and upgrades. Usually you put them in different lines, but to get it close on camera here, we'll put them on the same line there. All right, so now let's do some damage. Let's do attack 2 to damage both of this. So this is done. And so this guy's going to go back. He is gone, that minion. And now, when attached, the minion is defeated, remove 3 threat from a scheme. And this one says after you defeat a minion, you exhaust this interrogation to remove 1 threat. So we're going to be able to remove 4 threats, 1 from a scheme and 3 from a scheme. And this one's exhausted, which is awesome. Wow, can we breathe a sigh of relief. I swear I did not plan these cards this way. I shuffled the deck and the cards came out the way they came out. We're just getting good draws and using them in the right spots. We could breathe a little bit, and now maybe we can start attacking him, getting him down. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to attack, which is going to give 1 collateral damage. She's only going to be good for 1 more turn. She's going to do 1 attack, and she's going to attack. And the cool thing about her is she doesn't get damage when she attacks, only when she thwarts. So we're going to do 2 more damage. Pretty cool. So now Rhino's going to go from 12 down to 10. Oof, all right. Things are looking pretty good. And now we can discard cards. And since this one was the last one in my hand, I was going to keep it because it does good stuff about threat, but we just got rid of that threat. So let's go try to get some attack cards. So we will discard this and we'll draw it back up to 5 and we'll ready everybody. But now it is this turn. 3, 4. He's going to do 4 attack plus boost. I have 8. Oof. I think... Yeesh. Let's run with it. Let's see what happens. No boost. Awesome. So just 4 damage. So we are going to go from 8 down to 4 for Spider-Man. Remember, if this gets down to 0, since it's only us, we would be dead. And then we're going to, we also forgot to put some thread on here at the beginning. And then we did that. And now we're going to attach this card to Spider-Man and see what happens. So here, oh, we have a charge. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a huge attack. We'll attach it to Rhino, and then when Rhino attacks, the attack gains overkill, excess damage to an ally, to another ally, things like that. At the end of this attack, then we would discard that. And this is big because what this does is if this player is going to attack, so we have 4, I can defend with a ally, and it just takes all the damage and it's gone, right? And I can do that to defend. But this one says, oh no, the damage actually overkills and goes to someone else after that. Oh, which is really tough. So it's our turn again, and you know what? We're low on health, so it's going to be probably best to get back to Peter Parker and then use the Aunt May to heal up, but it's going to add some threat, but we just took some off, so I think I might be able to do that. So we're going to try to focus on that, but also try to focus on attacking at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and go like this, and we're going to attack, but it's going to be the 3rd damage here, so this is going to essentially go away. This will get discarded. So we're going to do 1 attack with Mockingbird, and we're going to attack with Black Cat, so 2 attacks. So we're going to go down from 10 on Rhino, down to 8. We're getting close, but Spider-Man's in danger here. Now I am going to exhaust Spider-Man to take 2. So we now have Rhino down to 6. We're getting close. And this is cool because now we can flip this. Now normally, if it was not exhausted, I would flip to Peter Parker, and then I would exhaust this to gain 3 health. This is already exhausted. I can't re-exhaust it to gain 3 health. But because we have Aunt May, and we had her at the beginning of the game, I did not want to discard her or use her to get something else. I knew how important she was to Spider-Man, so to Peter Parker. So we can now, because we're the alter ego, we can exhaust to gain, basically heal 4 damage. Which is great, because now it's going to put us right back up to 8, and now we can breathe a sigh of relief. All right, now I have 6 cards because the villain hit Spider-Man, so we get to draw an extra 1 last turn. So what I want to do this turn, most of the Justice cards here, a bunch of them came up as all about getting rid of thwarting, but we just brought the threat way down. We're trying to attack and kill Rhino finally to win. I like this card because it will allow me to attack with this ally, and I like this, which is going to allow me to use other resources later. It basically allows you to take tokens off and act as resources. So we're going to need a total of 4, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to discard those 4 cards to put these 2 cards into play. So again, for the web shooter, basically we're going to use these 3 web counters, and then if we're a hero, we can exhaust this and remove 1 to gain a wild resource. Now we can't use that this round because we are Peter Parker, we're not the hero, but we will use that later. So here, Jessica Jones gets +1 thwart for each side scheme, but there's no side schemes in play. But we are going to exhaust her to attack 2, but it does take 1 collateral damage. All right, so here we got them down to 4. And so we drew back up to 6, and we readied everybody. Now it's the villain's turn. And so because we're Peter Parker, they're going to scheme, so we'll look for boost. Oh, good, no boost. 1 scheme, so good. We're only going to put 1 here, plus, oh, we forgot to put 1 at the beginning of this round. So we're at 4 again. We're more than half. It's getting a little dangerous again. And then we'll go ahead and see what this does to Spider-Man. All right, it is a treachery card, Stampede. When revealed, okay, we are the alter ego. This card gains Surge, which essentially allows us, makes us take another one. Uh-oh, this is really bad. Shadow of the Past. Okay, this is going to reveal the Nemesis for Spider-Man. So let's show you how this works. Okay, so each character has their own set of Nemesis cards, and this is Vulture for the Spider-Man. So the first thing that happens is it attaches the minion of their Nemesis right to that character. So now Vulture is there, it's got hit points of 4, it's going to attack a lot. And then after this minion engages your hero, it attacks, so it's automatically going to attack us for 3. Now we can defend that attack, but obviously not now because we are just Peter Parker. But, and again, this really stinks because it attacked even though we're not. But this Black Cat only has 1 damage left, so we will use this ally to defend, and it's essentially going to be gone because all the damage hits it, and it is gone. So it at least allowed us to stay good. Now, if we were playing a multiplayer game, the other players in the game could defend for me. But in this case, we just defended it with our ally. Now, in addition to that, we're going to reveal the set-aside side scheme for that Nemesis and put it here. And this says, when revealed, each player places a random card from their hand face down here. So we're going to take a random card, and we are just going to put it face down right here. Oh man, this is getting really bad. And then when we defeat this, we return it. Now, this one is going to get, essentially, it causes 1 more here. So now at the beginning of the round, 2 is going to be added here right away. So we want to get rid of this, or this is going to spin out of control. We've already got 4, which means it's going to be up to 6. just when you breathed a sigh of relief and thought we were about to win it easy, no problem, we got them down to 4 health, and then this stupid side, the Shadow of the Past comes and my Nemesis comes out and it looks like we're going to lose now. And then also there's other cards and these are now from the Nemesis, these are now going to get shuffled into the encounter deck, which are terrible cards. So it's our turn and we sort of lucked out because even though we have 8 health, this minion, which was my Nemesis, came out during the encounter. So in future villain turns, it's going to attack us along with the other one, which is going to be really bad. So if this game were to go on 1 or 2 turns longer, it probably would have been harder for me to win. But luckily, we got him right where we want him, I think, at this point, because I can just flip over this. I can do this and attack 2. This would put a damage here. And I can also attack 2 here and do the 4 damage needed to win. And so, yep, he had 4 damage left. This takes him to 0. And because it is the last level of this, it's over and we have won. Now, keep in mind, this was the easiest villain on the easiest level. So keep that in mind. I've actually played this easiest level before with other characters and actually got destroyed. And I've also lost a little bit. This was my easiest victory. And I wouldn't say it was easy, but it was definitely easier than some of the other games that I've played. Again, I got some good card draws at the right time, and I used the cards to my advantage because I knew the deck well now. All right, I hope you liked that playthrough. Now, a few things about this. Number one, as this video went up the same time, I also released my full review of this. So if you haven't seen that yet, there's a link in the description of this video. Also, there is the little eye up there in the corner. You can click to go see my full review. That will give you all sort of a bigger overview of how the game, different things that can happen in the game that you maybe didn't see here. It also shows you all the cards of all the other different heroes. I show you all their specific cards. I also show you many of the cards of the different aspects. So I go a lot more deeper into the different aspects of the game itself that you might want to check out, and also to find out what I thought about the game and all my pros and cons. So check out that review if you haven't. Now, a few things about this playthrough. Now, the box says 45 to 90 minutes, and this playthrough section that I did solo was about 25 minutes. You might say, wow, can you really play this game in 25 minutes? Not really. For playthroughs, I'm a content creator, but I'm also a content watcher. And when I watch content, I always like to see very efficient videos. I want to see the most I can in the littlest amount of time so I can see more and more stuff. And so for me, I did this video in a way that I would want to watch a playthrough, which is show me the decisions, show me in the most efficient way possible how the game works so I understand it, the different things that can happen, the different cards, and show me interesting points that are tough decision-making processes. Like, where is the fun in the game? Where is the tough parts of the game? And I tried to do that here, which was I would stop at extra spots and read some of the cards and talk about some of my decisions that were tough, but I wasn't doing it on every humming and hawing on every single little micro decision that I would make. I just wanted to kind of show you how it works as quickly and as efficient as possible, but also highlighting the different decisions that we can make. So yes, it was 25 minutes on the video, but some of the times I was reading my hand off camera before I decided what I wanted to do. Then I would kind of come through and point out different things. So the game itself probably took me about 35 minutes to play solo. So a little bit faster than that 45 minutes, but this was the introductory one as well. So as you go through the more difficult ones and you have more schemes and more levels, it would take longer. But for the beginner game, you can play the solo game in about 35 minutes. But I just want to preface that with that because I know I'll get some questions about that. So I hope that this playthrough has helped you get a feel for the game, see if you might like it. Now, there is a link in the description below that you can, right now, as this video goes up, it's for pre-order at Miniature Market. You can click that link below and buy it, pre-order it. And if you're watching this game in the future, this video in the future, then it might possibly already be out and you can just purchase it directly from that link. And also, again, go check out that review to see more. This has been the Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships through board games by helping you find the next one you'll love. Did you miss the Game Topper 2.0 Kickstarter? Have no fear. It's not too late to get in on the ultimate gaming accessory. Convert your table into a high-quality gaming table with a fully portable Game Topper system and take advantage of some of the best 3mm premium gaming mats in the industry. New styles, new sizes, and new accessories can be yours. Upgrade every game you play by late backing now at GameToppersLLC.com.